Welcome back to the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. It is another NWA special as we move on ever closer to NWA 76 for the iconic 2300 Arena in Philadelphia. It means NWA. Now, I can't call you the NWA Queen today. You may have some competition with that, but Fee, how are you?
I'm very well, darling. How are you?
I'm good. So two different parts of the UK. I've got sun, you've got rain. Is that about right?
It's dry just now.
Okay. It was raining early on. I'm in Scotland, but enough of us. Let's talk to our guest. What can we say? I mean, I fanboy enough over over the guest. Every time we have an NWA chat with a member of the roster, I always mention one person every time, and that is the
And he's not
Burkholder.
lying. He is not
Yeah,
lying.
no, I am not lying. Check the interviews out. We wax lyricals about her all the time, and we finally managed to get her on the show ahead of NWA 76. It's the holder of the Burke. It is promoter, soon to be perhaps tag team champion as well. It's Kenzie Paige. How are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are y'all?
We're good. Thank you very much, Kenzie. Thanks so much for taking some time from your ever hectic schedules that you seem to be having over
Mhm.
in the States. It's very much appreciated you coming on and talking to us. 76 is literally a week away now, a week away this weekend. And, you
Mhm.
know, 76th anniversary of the NWA, the iconic arena. How does it put it into perspective for you? Last year you won the championship. Now you're going in as a champion nearly the full calendar year. How is it different from this time to last time?
I think that, for someone else it might be different, but for me, I'm still just as humble and hungry. So it's like I'm walking in this year as champ, but with the same mindset that I had last year's. I'm going to do the best I can and I'm going to come out a winner.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So still the same thought process, but I am the champion. But I think that's something that sets me apart in general is that I stay hungry. Is that being the champion isn't enough. I am the champion, but now you have to keep the championship. Now you have to stay champion. So the mindset's really the same for me as far as like me and my match. But for the whole show, I think a lot of people are going into this ready for their toughest, roughest match. And for me personally, I feel like after NWA 76, if I want to get someone to watch NWA, I'm going to be like, check out NWA 76. You know what I mean? Because I feel like everyone is just going to be on it, especially with the prestige of the ECW arena. And just it kind of feels like all eyes are on us because it's like we're going down to Philly. How are they going to do? What's going to be the case? So I think as far as the wrestlers go, our mindset is we're going to kill it. We're going to prove everything.
I think I think Fee, I mean, you've been a fan of NWA longer than me. I think they generally, when we've watched I know pay-per-view, I know this is going to be airing as a kind of like a series on the CW app,
Mm-hmm.
but Fee, from our case, every time we've watched a pay-per-view and we've reviewed it, we've always said the standard was so high.
Yeah, absolutely. I think every single time you raise the bar every single show that comes on with the live events. I've been over for a couple of them. I was out in Tampa last year. I've been at the Crockett Cup and stuff, so I've traveled over to see them. And particularly now, and we've spoken about this with a lot of other guests, with the move over to the CW, with the production values as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I really just think the bar has been completely raised, and I love what you guys are all doing with the product. And I think you're right. If we can get more eyes on it, it's going to be fabulous.
Definitely.
And I think that's what keeps us so motivated and keeps us trying to raise the bar because we want more eyes on us. You know what I mean? There's been a lot of things that have went against us, and maybe it's been ourselves at times, but the wrestlers shouldn't be punished for that. You know what I mean? We want to still put on the best thing that we can do and raise the bar at NWA and raise NWA to a standard that we all know we can be at.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So me and Kylie, as we're there for a few more years. We re-signed the contract.
Yeah.
So our goal for the next few years is to really raise that bar. And whenever we do leave, there is going to be a standard for the NWA, and you're going to have to get to that bar.
Yeah.
So I think that's the thing is we all have one common. Well, most of us have a common goal of we have to get eyes on us, and we have to set the bar, raise the standard every time.
Yeah.
And it's
You,
cool. Oh, go on, Fee.
sorry, no, I was going to say, just to kind of follow on from that, you've just mentioned Kylie there. There's a real potential that you're going to have a singles match for her for the championship. Obviously she's taking part in the Burke Invitational for the #1 contendership match to get a shot at your title. She's your sister. You've grown up with each other. I've no doubt you've fought in and lightly out of the ring. I have a sister myself many, many, many times. How do you feel about potentially going up against her for her trying to get that belt off your hands?
A part of me wants to say Pretty Empowered always has a plan and leave it at that. But the other part of me says, me and Kylie are sisters. Obviously, we've been attached at the hip. We're best friends in real life. And we have fought like cats and dogs. We used to do karate class together. So we really are crazy girls together. But if she wanted to win that match and really have a shot at the Burke, what kind of sister would I be to not allow her to have that shot? You know what I mean? Like, this is my whole life's work wrapped up into something. And if Kylie wants a shot at it and she wants to prove herself, by all means. That's how I feel. If I was to hold her back, hold her down, what kind of sister would I be? This is what we are, right?
I was going to say sorry for interrupting there, but I was going to say I'm not going to lie. That's a match I kind of want to see. So I'm kind of hoping that she does win the invitational to be able to you.
See, that's another thing. We would definitely deliver. We know each other, so we would definitely deliver. And that's up to whatever she wants to do. If she wins, that I'm going to be rooting for her. Out of all the girls, I'm rooting for her. She has the best shot to win. No shot at the other girls, but I'm just going to be honest. Out of the girls in the match, who do you want to win? Kylie. Kylie's definitely the one that stands out the most.
I think I remember we done a podcast fee probably back in the last year when Pretty Empowered was a free, and we said one of the snippets we put out was we wanted the triple threat match between Ella, Kylie, and Kenzie, but obviously now it's a two now. Ella's doing her own thing, and Ella is doing her own thing. And to be fair to her, she's got another shot coming up at 76. I believe she's got a title shot against the King Bees. Is there part of you that's happy for her in a way that she's gone her way? I know she may not gone the right way about it, and you had your match and you beat her for the title, but is it kind of, there's a bit about her that she's sort of trying to go her own way, and there's a bit of respect for that?
Yeah, I feel like she needed to prove something to herself. I think that she felt some type of way and Pretty Empowered, which is fine. That's okay. You can feel that way. And sometimes you have to venture off from people. You have to go be alone. You have to go, because let me tell you something, her teaming up with Samantha Starr, she's basically alone. She's basically doing it herself. So and maybe that's what she needs. Maybe she needs to feel like she's in control. And with Samantha Starr, the it girls, she is in control. So I respect her for wanting to go and prove something to herself. She didn't have to prove anything to me. I know who she is. I know who Ella Envy is, and I know who she can be. And she's someone to watch out for, always.
Definitely. So as we move, as we're going ever closer, but I want to go back a little bit. Your training, because I've obviously had a look at the people that you've trained by are amazing. And we spoke to EC3. We clipped up a bit of the EC3 interview, which you saw and responded to. I can't wax lyrical about you enough, and I do it because someone that's so young, and look, I'm not a wrestling master or anything like that, but when I watch something and I know what I like, and I see what I see in you at such a young age is something that you don't see very often. And do you put that down to just literally being a sponge when you was in there? And obviously Dr. Tom Kane and obviously Jazz has had a big influence. Do you just have to literally be that sponge? Obviously you're talented, there's no doubt about that. But there is an element of having to learn and sit there and physically absorb everything that you're being told by your trainers and then put that into practice in the ring.
Yeah. So I live off the quote, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. So every day I train. I train all the time, 24/7, whether it be at Dr. Tom Still, Ricky Morton's school. Now I'm going to be training alongside Ricky Morton. I'm going to be a trainer at his school. And I'm 22 years old. And not to bring this up, but I'm also a woman. That's something you don't see. How many, really, realistically, 22-year-old woman is going to be your wrestling trainer? And it's like some people might have a problem with that, but when Hall of Fame legend Ricky Morton is the one putting his stamp on you, it's like, it's, I mean, yeah, that's what you have to do. You just have to work hard and literally, like you said, be a sponge, take up everything, like every single thing from I feel like you can learn from anyone. I really do. I can hear anybody out, and I can tell when it's something I need to really take in, or if I need to like let it go in one ear out the other. But I truthfully believe you can learn something from anyone and everyone. And I'm very hyper aware of my situations, my surroundings, who's talking, what's going on. And I think that's beneficial to me.
Definitely is. One of the other person that's waxes lyrical about you, especially on interviews, is Chelsea Green from the WWE. We see a lot of it every interview that she has. One person, Kenzie Paige, Kenzie Paige, Kenzie Paige. Now,
Yeah.
obviously, NXT are coming onto the CW very soon. You're joining the NWA. WWE seem to be in a mode of, wanting to branch out a little bit and work, and perhaps, who knows, we could see a Kenzie Chelsea reunion down the line somewhere.
Ooh, I like
I
that.
mean, that would be awesome. That would be amazing. That's Chelsea Green is someone I hope I am like her, honestly. But she's on the platform that she's on and the person that she is. She's such a good person at heart. I genuinely like, I really hope when I make it to that point, I keep that same mentality that she has. She's an inspiration. The fact that she's on that platform and she uses up her interview time to talk about me, to mention me, you can't ask for a better person, really. I want to cry, but she's such a good person. Yeah, that would be the goal, is to meet Chelsea Green on down the line, and hopefully, even if I am NWA World Women's Champion, maybe to do something with Chelsea Green or NXT or something like that, and kind of shift those two things together. But let the world decide that, let God decide that. But that would be awesome. I would be up for the challenge. And I hope I'm the one that would be, sent out to represent the NWA if that was the case.
That would be a lot of fun, an awful lot of fun, I imagine. I like watching her work as well, but I think she speaks very highly of you, as you very well know. So that's pretty cool.
Definitely
Yeah,
so. But shifting to power, I know for you haven't seen this week's yet. I have, and I noticed that there is a potential here of Kenzie Two Belts going on. You have kind of,
I like the sound of that too.
yeah, Kenzie Two Belts. There is potential that obviously you and Kylie are going for the tag team champions. The King Bees have been on a reign, a really good reign as well. And obviously you guys are very, very good at what you do, but is there a kind of a different strategy plan for those women? Because they are different they're in a different stratosphere at the moment compared to the rest of the teams on the roster.
I think that's the thing, is that nobody's got to see just me and Kylie team up. Like, we're real sisters, attached at the hip, like I said earlier. Nothing beats our chemistry. Nothing beats and also we thrive off the fact that Pretty Empowered has never had a proper tag title run, ever. We've never got to have a proper run. So I think that who better to prove that Pretty Empowered can dominate the division than the two sisters, that not only one is the NWA World Women's Champion, the other one's the youngest person ever in the NWA, Kylie. She was the youngest tag champ ever.
Yeah.
And we're owners of a company. I mean, who better really to set the standard of what the tag team should be? I mean, we're the perfect example of a spot-on real tag team that gets it. Because we're sisters. I mean,
yeah, I think that'd be awesome. There is one other competitor that I must bring up, because she's we're actually over here, I think, this weekend. I think, did I say Fee earlier on when I messaged you? I'm sure
Yeah,
I
I
did.
believe you are talking about Max.
I am the non-binary nightmare, Max Painter over here. I mean, I don't know how many more matches Max has to win, but there's also that lucky 7 rule. I'm sure it still applies to your championship. That would be a very different problem for you to face. Well, would you be ready for Max if that would be the case?
I think that last year I wasn't ready for Max. So whenever I was going up against them, for the NWA Women's Television Championship, they beat the hell out of me. I mean, that's what it was. They dog walked me. I wasn't prepared for that match. I wasn't ready. But this year I am, because I am a champion. I am, like I said, I have to come in hungry all the time, and I am hungry. And what better way to really like put the nail in the coffin of I am the champion, period, than to beat Max the Impaler after getting dog walked and embarrassed last year by them. That would be the payoff for me, is to get to show up after a year of having the championship and prove to myself that I can beat Max the Impaler. Because this year, I'm not going to the Wasteland. They're coming to the Pretty Empowered Palace because I'm the champion. So if Max wants to step up, is it going to be hard? Yes. Is it? And I'm not going to sugarcoat that and act as if it's going to be a walk in the park. It's not. But I have me and I have Kylie. And together, we're going to formulate something that's going to take care of Max the Impaler and anything that comes along with the Wasteland in them. That's what we have to do.
Interesting.
I think that's quite a sensible move, having Kylie in your corner as well on this one, because you never know when Max is going to turn up, whether the Sinister Minister is going to be alongside them, whether it's going to be Sal or Judias. As a group, they are quite formidable, but I have absolutely no doubt you've had another year to watch them in the ring. You've had another year to study them. You've had a full year of bettering yourself as well. So I have no doubt that you can absolutely take that to Max if need be.
Yep. And if it's Max, then like you said, I just have to be prepared, be ready. And I have to not only watch out for Max, but everyone that comes along with them. So yeah, me and Kylie are definitely gonna have to formulate a plan and figure some stuff out. But I want her to focus on her match. I want her to focus on her match that she has to do, because if she wants a shot at this, she has to learn it's hard work and it's taking care of yourself first. So whatever happens at 76 is the way it's meant to be, but we're going to come in with a plan either way.
Interesting times. We haven't got long to wait until 76, but you did keep mentioning about, you are owning a business, Crossfire. This is interesting. I mean, look, 22 and was Kylie 21, 20?
20, Kylie's 20, yeah.
You're owning your own promotion. That, I mean, how did that even happen to begin with?
So my dad has owned Crossfire Wrestling for 21 years. And prior to me and Kylie taking over, we had some crazy, like I even remember in 2012, one time we had this bouncy house it's called Black Harvest. That's our biggest show of the whole year. This year it's October 4th. We have Jay Lethal, Max the Impaler's going to be there, Tom Latimer. I mean, we have a lot of people going to be there. Brian Idol will be there. But we had Goldust there. And it was crazy. And I remember I met Matt Hardy and like X-Pac and all these cool people. And that's really when I fell in love with wrestling, because I wasn't normal. Every Friday, most kids went to their football game or a basketball game or something for their school. Not me. Me and Kylie were at our dad's show every single Friday. And we ran every week. So we were there. We were sitting there watching. And I think, obviously in the wrestling business, just because like it's not show day or something doesn't mean you're away from it. You have to think about it every single day. So I would hear my dad literally every single day talking about wrestling, or like talking about the business side of wrestling, or, and I've seen some hard times from wrestling too. We lost some money, we lost some cars. We went through the ringer with it, but I fell in love with it. And I realized, like, God, I don't only love the good parts of wrestling. I was okay with the bad parts of wrestling. Like, there was a time where I had to run. Okay, so I missed the bus one time at school. And I had to like run down the street almost a mile to catch the bus because we didn't have a car. So if I didn't catch a bus, I wasn't going to school. So it was things like that, but I was never mad at wrestling. It felt almost like a relief to me. So basically me and Kylie watched our dad and watched the struggles and watched the happiness of wrestling. And Billy knew that my dad had a company. He's talked to my dad multiple times, plenty of times. And, he talked about putting KFW in as the territory. And My dad was like, what do you guys think about y'all taking over? Like, NWA is your thing. You guys earned this. I'm here as, support in the background for anything that you need, but I want my girls to, run with this. And I think that's why my dad kept the company so long, because he didn't know what the payoff was, but now he even says it now. We were the payoff. Me and Kylie were the payoff. So he gave us the company, 20 something years later. And Billy said, yeah, he would be okay with me and Kylie being the forefront of the territory, which, like I said, is huge news. Women unfortunately don't get stuff like that all the time.
No.
So for it to be us as two women, but also young women, that could be intimidating to some people, but it's so empowering to us. It really feels like, damn, we really are making a difference, making a change. And we're from Tennessee. We're in the South. So it's really like wow, these two girls are doing this.
Yeah.
It's empowering. It's so fulfilling. Like, there's so much of a payoff for us already. And I'm so thankful for that. So thankful for that.
I
Yeah.
reckon you'll be quite inspirational for a lot of other younger females who are looking to break out or get into the business and do their own thing, particularly because you are both so young and you've kind of got the world at your feet right now. You're the world's champion. Kylie's doing her own thing and doing really, really well as well. You've got your own company. Now, obviously, as well, it's the second territory in Tennessee because obviously we have JCP there as well, which is quite a big thing. I think maybe some people might have expected them to move into another state, for example, but the fact that there's two in the one state, I actually think is pretty cool. So
I think it's because it's so different. You know what I mean? Like, JCP is almost that traditional territory of, like, old school. KFW is not that. We're almost crazy. Like, really, if you've ever attended, people who attend a KFW show know that feeling, know that vibe. For instance, when Billy came to the show April 26th, a fan tried to fight a wrestler and had to get kicked out. I mean, we were so embarrassed, but we were like, this only happens at KFW. Like, Billy Corgan is a rock star. He doesn't want to be bored. Like, maybe that was, like, oh God, they are the different territory. Like, and that's why I say, like, whenever I post about Crossfire, I'm like, watch the top territory that does it our way. Like, we're not going to change and shift for the territory. We are who we are. We've got the high flying, we've got the crazy people that will literally throw their bodies around, and we are crazy, we are different. And I think that's why it's okay that there's two territories in Tennessee, because they're so totally different from one another that you could literally, and we're like 2 hours away from each other, but God, the difference in the shows, you know what I mean? And we're both great. Like, I love JCP. I love working for them. I think I like watching them. I think they're great. They do awesome stuff. They're just different from KFW. It's a different vibe.
I literally watched that this week, actually, the most recent episode of JCP, because you and Kylie were on there. I can't remember for the life of me who Kylie was facing, but you were on there. But just touching on what Fee said about you being an inspiration, because it is right. I mean, you're going to have girls, young girls right now, and so you're young yourself, Kenzie, but younger girls, maybe girls 6, 7, 8, 9, just starting to watch wrestling and understand it, and perhaps, hey, this is what I want to do. I want to be a wrestler, because you do. I had that same dream. I want to be a wrestler. I tried it. I couldn't do it. I was never anywhere good enough to do it. But I don't know whether that was.
I did, but I was like 30 when I trained the first time, and I was like, I'm too old to start this.
Yeah. But on the back of that, you could well be that inspiration to those kids and to the next generation. So what advice would you give, say, the young women just coming up and saying, if they come up to you and say, hey, I want to be a wrestler, what would be your answer to them, and what advice would you give to them?
Chase it. Just do it. Just do it. My first advice would be, go on your phone right now and look up wrestling schools near me. Type it in and you scroll through there and you see what best fits you, whether it be money wise, whether it be schedule wise, how many days you're training, who is training you. Figure out what fits your schedule, what fits your budget, and just go for it.
Yeah.
I remember this. You only live once. I don't want to be on my deathbed thinking, oh, what would have been? What would have been if I would have done this? Just do it. Just do it. I live with anxiety and fear every day, but I still have to overcome it. And you feel so powerful afterwards. Just chase it. That would literally be what I said. Chase it. Look it up right now on your phone while we're standing here. And I want you to make a decision. Think on it, but by tomorrow, know what you're going to do and really think about it. Because that's how it happened for me. I just did it.
There you go.
And now look at you.
Yeah.
That's taking a chance on yourself is the scariest thing, but it could be the most rewarding thing. And that's something I've learned in my life. 22 years of living, just do it. Take a chance on yourself.
Words to live by.
Words to live by, and words that are very much successful for you, Kenzie, as well. Just going back to 76, though, I mean, obviously, and the Burke itself, I mean, obviously, that is a big pressure. That title, the lineage of that title goes so far back, and so many great names have held that title. Do you feel that extra pressure with the belt on your shoulders when you're going out there? A, you're holding the Burke, and B, you're representing the NWA, the most prestigious wrestling company in America.
Yes, there is pressure. There is added emotions and feelings. But I work better under pressure anyways. I've always worked like that. I've always moved like that. So to me, it's because it's so much more rewarding afterwards. So I work better under pressure, but there is a pressure, and you're right. This is the most prestige. I mean, this is the NWA World Women's Championship. And I hold it, and I'm 22 years old, and it's a dream. I never would have even, if you would have told me 4 years ago that I would be the NWA World Women's Champion, I would have been like, you know what? Maybe, but in the back of my head, I would have been like, no way, no way. And here I am. I mean, the pressure is a lot because there is everyone watching you. If you do anything wrong, I mean, it's going to be talked about or something like that. But that almost makes me just hungrier and more motivated, really, because it's like, now talk. Because whenever I do it correctly and I do it good and I deliver, now talk. That's how I feel. And when I win, I'm like, now talk. Now say something. Now make your post. Because it's such payoff, such a reward. And I know there's an entire match dedicated around wanting to wrestle me, wanting to come for my championship on the same night that I might possibly be going and wrestling Maxine Paler or whoever it is. Not knowing is almost worse than knowing if you're going to be wrestling Maxine Paler. You know what I mean? I would rather know for sure. So there is a lot of pressure. I don't even know my match for sure. And there's an entire match based on women who all want one thing, to wrestle me. It is pressure, but it's almost like, you're in this moment, you got to do it, deliver, just do it. Wow. So that's how I have to walk into 76.
Yeah, you're talking of pressure, and obviously all eyes on you. We've spoken to pretty much everyone that's come on the podcast from NWA about the locker room in NWA and how it's been one of the most supportive, most positive locker rooms that they've come across in all their years in professional wrestling. Is that something that you would kind of back up and agree with? Like, how is the female locker room? Because there is some incredible talent. Adam and I wax lyrical. We love the women's division in NWA. It's the strongest one that I can think of for a very long time. And across the board, when you look at the other promotions out there that are on TV, I genuinely believe it's the strongest roster. What's your thoughts on the kind of locker room, backstage at the shows and things?
I think that we have a very healthy locker room, especially the women, because we have to, because Miss Jazz is over the women. And no one's going to mess with Miss Jazz, period. Really, Miss Jazz has shaped all of us in such a different way. Like, she's transformed all of us women into what some people think is the best NWA, like the best women's division overall. So a lot of that, I agree 1,000%. It's a very healthy locker room, very happy. And a lot of that goes to Miss Jazz because she does keep a grip on, there's not really any drama, but as far as in-ring stuff, she keeps a grip on all of us. She keeps us in that ring training. She literally opens her house to anyone to come and train with her. and she will let you. Me and Kylie stayed a week with Miss Jazz and trained every single day. She took me to the ring every single day. I had an 8-minute match with Miss Jazz. She got in the ring with me for 8 minutes. We nonstop. We did that. Miss Jazz is incredible. She cares about every single one of us, and she keeps us very tight knit and together. And I think that's another reason why the locker room is so healthy, and we're all a family. And a lot of people say that, but it's actually the case at NWA. Like, we are really all a family.
Yeah, it is incredible. I agree with Fee. I'd stack that women's roster in NWA up against any women's roster in any division right now, anywhere. And I don't think it wouldn't be out of place, and it would certainly stack up against the best of the best. And it has the best of the best because you're holding the best women's championship in wrestling for one, and the best talent in there as well is sitting there right in front of us, talking to us at 22 years old, which is incredible. Kenzie, just before we start wrapping up, let's talk about now Crossfire, the events. You mentioned a couple. There's a couple of events coming up, Crossfire. What you got coming up? Where can they go and buy tickets? Fire away with Crossfire.
Okay, so September 20th, Crossfire Wrestling is at the Bird in the Book, and that's in Maryville, Tennessee. The Bird in the Book is it's a locally owned little bar, but it's all ages welcome because it's very like small, niche, it's an awesome environment. There's like lights hanging everywhere. But September 20th at the Bird in the Book, Maryville, Tennessee, you can look us up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at just KFW Wrestling. And there's a brown paper tickets link right in every single post. It's in the bio, everywhere. That's where you can get tickets. Then we have our big show. October 4th is going to be in Sevierville, Tennessee at the Sevierville Civic Center. Same thing. You can get the tickets online. It's in the bio. It's with every post. KFW Wrestling on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And on October 4th, that's Black Harvest. We do that once a year. It's our big show. It's like a big Halloween festival type show. We let people dress up. There's candy. Sometimes we have a bounce house. One year we had a dunk tank. It was awesome. This is a big festival type thing. This year we have Jay Lethal, like I mentioned earlier, Tom Latimer, Maxine Paler is going to be there. Just a lot of people. Southern Six will be there. I mean, just a whole bunch of people.
Hoovy.
So that's where the next shows.
Hoovy's going to be there as well.
Juventud. And that's another thing. Juventud is our champion. So we're coming up on 3 years of Hoovy being our champion.
Wow.
And he has defended it. I wrestled Hoovy for the championship. I was the first woman he ever wrestled. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I just ask, that show sounds amazing actually. Is that by any chance going to be recorded to go out anywhere for the rest of the world to see, or is that not something?
My match with Hoovy?
No, your show,
or
your Black Harvest show.
Yes, Black Harvest will be okay. So all of our shows are on titlematch.com. Title Match is amazing. It's online. I think the subscription's maybe $9 a month. Okay. We are going to see if we can get it live streamed on Title Match, because I like whenever there's reactions, like live reactions online. I feel like that helps get the word out more, especially if there's like a little hashtag with it and stuff. I think that would be awesome if we did that. And if not, I would be very open to maybe going on NWA's YouTube and trying to live stream. I think that would be a great way to get more eyes on, the event as a whole. So we are working on that for sure to make sure people can watch it in the time that's happening.
Yeah, because we've got so Exodus is doing that this week, aren't they? They're streaming on the NWA YouTube show for their championship. Hopefully we get to see more. But titlematch.com, we're going to see that because I need to see Crossfire. Again, there's a lot of stars in there that are. I think one of the kids is on there, right? Is it Carson Drake?
Yeah, Jackson Drake is on there. Yeah,
Drake, okay. Carson Drake. That's right. Yes, but from the kids, he's on there as well, which is another good up and comer that we're going to be seeing next week on Power as well. And next week you're going to be.
There's a lot of younger talent at KFW, which is another reason why we're different. I mean, I'm just going to give you names of them. If you don't know them, look them up. They're amazing. Jackson Drake's one of them. He's great. Hunter Drake, he's great. Tyler Franks, great. And Dylan McQueen. Those are 4 people from KFW. I would say if they ask for my 4 best hitters, those are the ones I'm sending. That's who I sent for the territory show June 1st. They said, give us your best hitters. Those are the ones I sent. Jackson Drake, Hunter Drake, Tyler Franks, Dylan McQueen.
Interesting.
They could build a whole show around those guys.
Does that mean that we'll potentially be seeing them on NWA Power over the next couple of weeks then, with the territory shows getting aired?
Yes, yeah. So that NWA territory show, there was a lot of good matches from that show, a lot of good moments. I can't wait for that to drop and for people to see the different stars from the different territories kind of all come together. It was so fun. It was good. I can't wait for that to come out, actually. I'm glad you mentioned that. Yes. Yeah, you will see all of them on the next few episodes.
Great. We've been counting down for that, haven't we? We keep saying, oh, it's got to be this week, because Anthony Katina was on this week on Power against Jax. And we're like, oh, I wonder if it's, but it wasn't. It was just another episode. It was like, we can't wait for that episode to come out. So we want to see. We've had a few of the territory guys on as well, and it was great to listen to them and their stories. And we can't wait for that program to air. But more pressing matters quickly before I wrap up. Next week, Kenzie, on Power, you and Kylie are in action. Now, please, Fiona, can you say the names? Because you keep saying I say it wrong. Who are they going against next week?
For next week's show?
Yeah, Tiffany
Nieves and Reka Tahaka.
That's the one I get wrong. Tiffany.
He struggles with that name.
I have to do Japanese wrestling names, and I can't do that either. So it's one of those things I struggle. But anyway, next week you're going against Reka and Tiffany, and obviously it's yourself and Kylie. So could you then become a step closer after next week to getting your shot at the tag team championships?
Hopefully. I mean, that's the goal. I feel like the more they see Kylie and I together teaming up, they're going to realize that, okay, you can't deny these girls, even if she is the NWA World Women's Champion, you can't deny the fact that this tag team deserves a shot at the tag titles. And for me, it's even better because Kenzie Two Belt sounds awesome. So I'm 100% down for it. So with what happens with the Tiffany and Reka match, whatever the outcome, if we win, 1,000% we should have a shot. I believe, and I hope other people think that, because that only makes sense. I mean, Reka and Tiffany have had their shots. La Rosa and Ruthie have had their shots. If Kylie and I can come in and beat that team and maybe beat the other team, I mean, how is it fair to not give us a shot? You know what I mean? I feel like we can only prove ourselves so much before it's like, okay, it's the obvious that they deserve something.
Yeah, we'll find out next week. I think as your song says, if you want to go right now, right? That's it.
Yep.
That is the song.
Yep.
I always give you the because it's NWA is your baby. I give you the pleasure of the last question before we start.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to your Burke. He always does this to me, and I know it's coming, but it always puts me on the spot because I never really think about it. But if we talk about the Burke and that beautiful belt on your shoulder, which is absolutely stunning, by the way, I love it. And your little photo on it's fabulous.
Thank you.
The lineage of that belt, you've had Fabulous Moolah, you've had, oh my goodness, you've had obviously Mildred Burke herself. You've had folk then like more modern era, Thunder Rosa, Camille, Alison Kay. If you could go back and wrestle any one of the previous holders for that belt, you as champion, have them come on as a contender, which one of those amazing ladies would it be?
Jazz.
Jazz.
It would be Jazz. I think that would be the biggest accomplishment for me if I got to really like have one last match with Jazz. If I was her last match and it was for this, I think, especially because she shaped me into the champion that I am. I used to wear my heart on my sleeve. I remember she pulled me to the side and she said, don't ever let them see you like that. And from that day on, she took me under her wing, and I'm literally molded by Jazz. So it would be her.
Really?
Love it.
Billy, if you're watching, book it. Please book it. Kenzie, we're going to start wrapping up now, but before we do, please, if you are available for bookings, tell everybody where to go to get your socials. If you've got merchandise, where they can get it from, and if you're available, how can they get you for a booking on your show?
Okay, so you can hit me up on any of my socials, just Kenzie Paige or Kenzie Paige H. And then my email is kenziepaigeh19@icloud.com. You can send anything to that. We'll figure something out. Like I said, if you wanted to get tickets to Crossfire Wrestling, you just look up KFW Wrestling on all socials, and that link's going to be in those bios or in the captions of every post. So that's how you can get a hold of me and talk to me.
Excellent stuff. And is it and to get your Pretty Empowered stuff, is it NWA shop?
Yes, NWA shop. Yep. NWA shop, you can get Pretty Empowered stuff. You can get Kenzie merch. You can get the banners, everything there.
And NWA live events for any NWA shows
Yep.
that you want to go to. Especially 76, there's still tickets available, so go and get that. Samhain is coming up soon as well. That is
Yep.
an eventful show, to say the least. Last year's was brilliant. I loved that last year. Me and Fee, we had a great. The only thing that me and Fee say is we still wish that the pay-per-views were pay-per-views, and you could
I
watch.
do too. I agree.
Yeah, that's the
I
only
agree.
that we do. Fee, what have you got rumbling coming up? You quite a busy girl coming up, aren't you?
It's been a quiet couple of weeks, but I am with Premier British Wrestling this Friday on the this Saturday, sorry, in the afternoon on the 24th. Then next Saturday on the 31st, I'm with Worldwide Wrestling League, or W3L, at the Rothes Rumble in Glen Rothes. That's one of our biggest shows of the year, so we're really looking forward to that. Then moving into September, we have our Inside the Rope shows with the fabulous Lita in London and Glasgow on the 9th and 10th. I've got a few more shows dotted about September with Premier British Wrestling, Main Event Entertainment, and Pro Wrestling Scotland. And then moving into October, which seems ages away, but it's really not. We have some more Inside the Ropes shows with Brutus the Barber Beefcake. So I am really looking forward to all of that.
Well, you're gonna have that's gonna be fun with Brutus. I mean, Lita's gonna be great, but Brutus is gonna be something. That's my childhood caught up with Brutus Beefcake and Co. That's probably showing my age. But NWA, just a quick one from us before we go. We're obviously, well, it is All In weekend. We're going to be there at the weekend to come and see us. Then our championships, we've got men's and women's championship. Our next championship match is on the 15th of September over Ignite. Our new turnbuckle champion for my sins. I don't know what I've done in a previous life to let this man hold my title, but Mark True is our new champion. Hook or by crook, but he will have an interesting match because he is going against in a fatal four-way match with close personal friends and the debut in JJ Gal. Get yourself down to Ignite Wrestling, go to Eventbrite, type in Ignite, and Aftermath will be there. There's plenty more matches on the card than that, but that's the only match I've got interested on that show. But Kenzie, it has been fantastic to talk to you. Thank you so much for taking your time to talk to us today.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it.
Yeah, good luck at 76. We can't wait to see what the future's in store for Kenzie Two Belts, everybody, because it will be sooner or later. But this has been the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. She has been the Burke holder, Kenzie Paige. She has been Fiona Lockwood. I have been Adam Cousins. And until next time, everybody, buckle down, stay safe, and goodbye.